a lot of these GOAT discussions uh, come down to a debate about which great player won with the least help. And that's actually an argument that carries a lot of merit with me. Like that's a very, very persuasive argument because all of these great players have won, but the question is who won with the least. Um, and we know that there are historical examples of great players that won with a lot of talent around them. The classic example of that being obviously the '60s Boston Celtics. But if a player is able to essentially put a team on his back and drag that team not only just to the finals but to winning the championship, um, that carries a lot of weight. So the um, top 75 players list, um, in my opinion, really clarified this GOAT debate. And when you really study this list, compiled by former players, media members, um, it's pretty good list of the greatest players in NBA history. And so when you ask yourself like, and you use this list as the standard, um, and you ask yourself, well, who won with the least amount of talent helping him based upon this list as your criteria for greatness, and even better criteria than the Hall of Fame. Kobe comes out pretty well on this. Now, I did a video a few months ago wherein I argued that because Kobe had repeated without another member of that top 75 team list, without another member of that team, uh, that was pretty strong evidence that Kobe was the GOAT. In fact, I argued that it pretty much proved that Kobe was the GOAT. Um, Furthermore, I've come to realize that not a lot of players have even won one championship without a teammate that is on that list. So I went back and studied the issue. I went back and researched it, and I found out that uh, 13 times um, players have led teams to championships without a teammate on the uh, top 75 list. That has happened 13 times. And it happened 7 times before 1960. It actually happened 5 times. George Mikan did it consistently, just about every year, from 1949 till 1954. Then Dolph Schayes and Bob Pettit did it. I think we can all agree that doesn't quite count. There were just really only a handful of teams in the league at that time. Um, can't really have a serious discussion if you include 50s players. So if we look at um, what we kind of refer to as the modern NBA, starting with Wilt in 1960, and we use 1960 as the starting point, 7 times players have led teams to NBA championships without a teammate that was on the top 75 list. And Kobe did it twice. Tim Duncan did it twice. Hakeem Olajuwon did it in 1994. If you remember, in 1995, Clyde Drexler joined that team. He's on the 75 list. Um, and then Rick Barry did it with the Golden State Warriors in 1975. Now, here's the interesting caveat to this, though. If I layer on top of this uh, had a teammate that was on the all defense team, Tim Duncan falls off of this list because one of Tim Duncan's teammate was Bruce Bowen, who was all defense. So I mean, if you want to pare this down to just the bare bones of who won with the least, as I've discussed in other videos, you can't win the NBA championship without an all defense team member, unless you are that all defense team member. And that pretty much leads Kobe and Hakeem Olajuwon. Rick Barry again did that as well. In 1975, Jamal Wilkes would go on to be a member of the all-defense team, but he was not during the 1975 season. So that's really a fascinating season. Like Rick Barry really put that team on his back. Rick Barry averaged like 30 points a game that year, and he didn't have a teammate that averaged anywhere close to 20 points a game. So you really talk about putting a team on his back. Like Rick Barry really, really did that. Now we know Kobe did have a future Hall of Famer. Okay. But as I've said, Pau Gasol did not make the top 75 list. Similarly, so did Tim Duncan. Tony Parker, we know, is a future Hall of Famer. But he did not make the top 75 list. And I think Manu Ginobili's already in the Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken. But I digress. You have to really look at, objectively, like who won with the least. Now, I did not include your modern championships because I was only looking at teams wherein all of the teammates were retired. Okay, so the last team to win the NBA championship, wherein the best player on that team, if you will, all of the teammates are retired, would be the 2014 Spurs. And so if you want to call Kawhi Leonard the best player on that team, all of his teammates would be retired at this point. Okay. So, I mean, it begs the question, okay, well, what about your modern winners, like, last year, Giannis. Then there's 2016, LeBron led the Cavs. Then there's the Golden State Warriors dynasty. What about the 2015 Warriors in particular, with Steph. First of all, and then there's the Toronto Raptors a couple years ago. So it's highly likely that Kyrie Irving, in particular, who's a seven-time All-Star, will be on the next anniversary team. Highly likely. I would say it's just about as likely that either Draymond Green or Klay Thompson, or both of them will be on the top 100 team. Um, Hell, don't count out um, um, Kevin Love, who may win Sixth Man of the Year this year, and may get deep into the playoffs. Like if the Cavs win the East this year, and Kevin Love wins Sixth Man of the Year, um, he's going to have a very strong case to be on that top 75 team. Then there's Kawhi Leonard's Toronto Raptors. Kyle Lowry is 35. He's on a very good team this year. You figure if the Heat if they make the finals this year, Kyle Lowry's got a pretty good chance. But I really don't know how likely it is that Miami will actually get past Philly, and or even a Brooklyn team that's gotten it together, or the defending champions. So the strongest case of your modern winners for a player that put a team on his back would be Giannis last year, because it doesn't seem likely that Chris Middleton, or for that matter even Drew Holiday, will ever get on that top 75 list. So I mean, that's an example of you really, really putting a team on your back. Now, I mean, I have a little bit of a criticism with Giannis. I don't think he's as strong a closer as some of your great players of all time. And my view is you have to defend the championship in order to validate the first one. But so much for that. But the point is, though, it certainly can be said that Giannis put that team on his back, and with very little help from an historical standpoint, won a championship without much help. But again, Kobe did it twice, and did it and defended championships as well. Something Tim Duncan did not do. So this is one of the reasons I believe Kobe is the GOAT. Because we can talk about statistics all game, all day. We can talk about particular championship series. Did you do what every other player in NBA history was trying to do, which is win the NBA championship? And did you do it with the least help? And I think there's a strong evidence that Kobe can answer that question, yes.